guys know now who won.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Okay.
And the winner is Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark's actions have been appending the like no one else in the basketball universe. The youthful star of the Indiana Fever went from collegiate great to professional star in a flash. Her extraordinary talent, fierce zeal, and courageous leadership made her a national celebrity all night. Following the destruction of records as she joined the WNBA from Iowa and immediately became the Fever's public face. Her novice year, just powered by the second year, she wasn't merely keeping pace but taking charge. It was demonstrated in July 2025 when Caitlin left holding one of the greatest accolades in sports, WNBA Player of the ESPS throughout the year. Indeed, she defeated heavyweights such as A.A. Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Keir Nafisa, identities that had dominated the league for many years. What a declaration! Admirers were excited, colleagues were pleased, and everyone believed that this was just the beginning of an illustrious run. However, as things were at their height, calamity struck out of nowhere. In a furious conflict with the Clark abruptly glanced at the Connecticut Sun off with a pained grimace. In the latter part of the game, she made a persistent groin ache worse. Injury she'd been covertly fighting for weeks. Her limping and clutching were captured on camera. The whole arena went to her side. Quiet, supporters held their breath. The Fever's is a glittering star in danger of falling? Coach Stephanie White made an effort to soothe everyone down, guaranteeing that Clark would be cautious assessed. However, hope soon shifted to heartache. Days following the celebration, Caitlin won WNBA Player of the Year, revealed shocking information on July 17th. She was absent for the whole 2025 WNBA season. All-Star Weekend, thus, no All-Star Game, the worst, and no three-point competition first. Of all, both were scheduled to occur in the Indianapolis arena where she calls home. The fans were devastated. This was meant to be Caitlin's chance to take center stage. Before her city, Clark went on the internet and expressed her sadness with all of her heart. She acknowledged how disappointed she was. She had to prioritize her health. She even posted a sincere note with broken heart emoticons, showing admirers how it was painful to take a step back.
Sure will be a big first step for me, but it's just one step for the WNBA. Thanks to all the great players like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, the great Dawn Staley, and my best.
Nevertheless, in typical leader form, she pledged to attend and support her teammates on the sidelines. The action demonstrated extreme maturity by selecting long-term well-being over fleeting fame. However, there was still a gap in the WNBA for the event involving 3 points. Additionally, they didn't need to look very far. Caitlin's own Fever teammate, Lexi Hull, received the call. She had been burning all season, particularly when viewed from a distance. This was her chance to shine. All along, Lexi Hull had been a silent killer season. Her percentage of 3 points was among the league's best, making her the ideal candidate to take Caitlin's place in the competition. She might not grasp Clark-style headlines, but true Hoops fans coaches had noticed. This lady may extinguish the lights. Her attention, discipline, and lethal accuracy had made her one of the Fever's most secretly dependable weapons. Now, filling in for with all of the attention, Clark wasn't merely a distinction. It was a massive accountability, the entire league. In addition, thousands of new people would be observing, particularly with the occasion occurring in her city, Indianapolis. Hull was prepared for it, too. She had the opportunity to not only represent the Fever, but also pay tribute to her wounded teammate while demonstrating to the world precisely what she was capable of doing under duress. However, beneath the thrill, there was heartache only. A few days before to becoming identified, Lexi, Clark's replacement, experienced a terrible loss. Her cherished canine companion Maggie had been with her for 14 years, past gone. Black was posted by Hull, and black and white pictures of their moments together and composed a heartfelt ode. referring to Maggie as the loveliest, Mags on the internet, and acknowledging that going home wouldn't feel the same without her. It was a powerful blow to the fans. Abruptly, her all-star moment seemed even more significant. Pain, pride, and purpose are its fuels. Upon the arrival of All-Star Saturday, Lexi Hull was the center of attention. Could she withstand the strain? The illumination was deafening, the crowd dazzling, and social media is constantly humming. This wasn't only a shoot-around, this was Lexi's tryout for the role of superstar.
This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend. It's supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here, and look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't be playing. Uh-oh, spaghetti.
When the horn blew, she walked to the rack while wearing ice veins. One shot after another shredded via the internet, unadulterated, pristine, and assured. Each swoosh possessed that the crowd in Indianapolis is standing up, yelling her name. For a brief while, it felt as though this was her night and her city. And even in Caitlin Clark's absence, the Fever continued to make buzz on the largest stage. Online fans went crazy, saturating comment boxes with encouragement and support of Hull. According to many, she appeared to be a buried gem is at last shining. Even Caitlin, seated next to the court in street attire, stood and cheered. Every rack she cleared, that display of goosebumps respect. By the time the competition concluded, Lexi hadn't merely taken a place, she produced her own moment, demonstrating she was among the elite of the league, shooters. From tragedy to fame, she said this: she was more than prepared for the major event. As soon as the scores were received, the venue maintained its take a breath. Second place had gone to Lexi Hull. Overall, winning is only a single shot away. The whole competition, the crowd erupted. Her name was chanted as if she had just hit a finals game-winning move. For a participant whose presence was not even anticipated, it was a moment of breakthrough that stamped she is among the deadliest in the league. Shooters, social media exploded. Supporters referring to her as the quiet sniper, claiming that she acquired her bouquet in one evening. Even national analysts, who hardly had mentioned her and are currently tweeting videos of her shape with descriptions such as textbook excellence. Caitlin Clark nursing that groin and remaining sideline pain, her eyes were watering as she embraced her teammate after the competition. "Tonight, Lexi kept it down for us," she said. Reported grinning through the agony, just that quote went viral. To teammates united by pain, respect, and a common desire to succeed, the narrative had turned over. Rather than the weekend concerning Clark's absence, it turned into regarding Hull's arrival. A single instance of her season had been altered by opportunity and perhaps even her profession. The press was unable to quit discussing it. Was this the emergence of a fresh star?
5 games with the injury, the quad, keeping Caitlin Clark on the sidelines, but Trevor, she was back today.
Sports programs rerun Lexi Hull's perfect stroke repeatedly, arguing if she may become a permanent resident face of the illness, with Caitlin fans immediately shared their thoughts about Clark. There were even jokes that Caitlin was the queen. However, the sniper is Lexi. There are a lot of side-by-side highlight reels that contrast how they shot styles. According to one widely shared post, Clark's range. Hull's obsession with accuracy received to assassins. The story had changed entirely. What was meant to be a weekend regarding Caitlin's tragic absence had become a display of the incredible depth of the Fever. Caitlin herself posted on Instagram following the competition, sharing a photo of her, embracing Lexi and writing, "I'm proud of a slight understatement. That was something she deserved." Moment. That lone post accumulated many thousands of likes inside hours. However, behind the festivities, there was a question. How long would Caitlin be absent? their superstar was needed by the Fever, returning for the postseason run, and supporters were thirsty for new information. This was not merely a personal injury, Clark's obstacle. It had the Hull holding its breath. The franchise all eyes turned as Hull's star rose, returning to Caitlin. Clark, how grave was her injury? Would she be able to come back before the postseason run of the Fever? Team physicians remained silent, providing just hazy updates, but she's making progress well, but there isn't a schedule yet. Fans and the media were apprehensive due to the ambiguity. Outlets that are generating outlandish theories according to insiders, the Fever was thinking of closing Clark down early to don't jeopardize her long-term health. Others said she would endure the discomfort, simply to be present when it was most important. Rest her for the internet dispute that went viral. The player versus the future, if she can stroll. The Fever, meantime, continued to win just sufficient to remain in the running for the playoffs, thanks to Hull and other players stepping up enormously. However, the elephant in the room was obvious. They required their celebrity. If Caitlin wasn't at her best, could Clark broke, but did Indiana truly make a run? Her quiet with a brief but impactful declaration. I'm making every effort to return when it counts most. Believe me, I'll be prepared.
Story we have been following throughout the past 2 days surrounds the superstar herself, Caitlin Clark, the WNBA star, the Indiana Fever star, Caitlin Clark. She's going to miss all the action on the court.
The fan was sparked by that message. Base, did this signify a major return to the playoffs? Lexi Hull's sad post on Maggie's passing went viral right away. Thousands of fans and other players hurried to submit their affection, but to messages were particularly clear. All Caitlin Clark could say was, Caitlin Clark had to endure the hurt of being absent, something she dreamed about a few days ago following the receipt of one of the largest honors of her existence. Lexi Hull was lamenting the loss of her buddy, her cherished dog had for more than 10 years, and vice Sophie Cunningham took charge of it all as the Indiana Fever's emotional rock, providing love, safety, and support just when it was most needed. As demonstrated by these three women, being a professional athlete involves more than simply dazzling performances or crowded arenas. About supporting one another when life becomes real. They demonstrated how brilliance is quantified, not just by numbers, but also by memory, by encouraging teammates, providing consolation, and standing firmly together when their link makes everything feel weighty, becoming something that fans were unable to disregard. Social media was inundated with posts about support, with fans sharing content such as "This is the appearance of a true team." These ladies serve as more than just role models. Basketball. The shift in energy wasn't only no longer about victories and defeats, about fidelity, love, and fortitude in heartbreak's face. For Caitlin, Sophie, and Lexi, this chapter turned into more than a difficult time. It turned into a tale of genuine sisterhood that fans will love throughout the nation will never forget.
We shall never know peace, at least when it comes to the WNBA space. It was this ad that Angel put out, and I don't know if this is part of a larger campaign where it's going to be similar themes in similar places, but because of where the WNBA All-Star Game is, and because of who plays on the Indiana Fever in the home city of the WNBA All-Star Game, it's going to raise some eyebrows.
Let's who dropped the most wasn't the point of this. Points or the winner of the prize was about something much more significant. How they treated one another during difficult times. The Indiana Fever weren't merely a team, they stood and moved as one, shoulder to shoulder despite discomfort and victory in equal measure. Caitlin Clark was resolved to return more resiliently after recuperating. Lexi Hull was entering the three-point competition involving both enthusiasm and sorrow, and Sophie. She was still the fire, Cunningham, the safeguard, the emotional fulcrum, maintaining everyone lowered themselves and locked in. That they weren't just together, they were sisters, teammates, women who appeared for each other when it most important, who supported one another. When they were knocked down by life, fans were deeply moved by unity, not by statistics or highlight. Reels that won people over was the devotion, affection, and that they shown bravery when it mattered. In a society fixated on victories and defeats, this instance served as a reminder to all. The greatest triumphs don't occur on they take place off the scoreboard. Court when love and friendship triumph all other things, those times, that's the Indiana Fever is what matters. Possess a wealth of talent, yet they're also heart-driven, and that heart was on complete manifestation when Sophie Cunningham to Caitlin Clark was supported by Lexi Hull, and when the three of them supported one another through suffering, strain, and loss. Is family in many ways than just basketball, motion, and fans are feeling it everywhere. The manner in which they safeguard each other, honor one another, and don't allow they are broken by life's blows, but that is changing how players perceive the game itself. What are your thoughts then? Does this type of bonds provide a team an advantage without a stat sheet? Can you measure? Share your ideas in the leave a remark. Forward this to your team and hit that like, subscribe, and turn on buttons alerts to ensure you never miss the actual behind-the-scenes tales. See you in the following one, exhibiting unadulterated concern for her colleague, while Sophie the warning from Cunningham struck home. No, Lex, I'm so sorry. The anguish was palpable through the screen. There was more to it than it was evidence of something. My sympathies, a true sisterhood is uncommon in professional athletics.